with you 9 marketing tips, 9 steps that will help you maximize your profits in 2021. By the end of this video, you'll know the 9 steps, and I'll cover some methods to accomplish these goals. Nobody will argue that 2020 has been a difficult year, right? But one thing I can guarantee, business, in your business, if you don't pivot right now, if you're not willing to adapt and improve, maybe do some different things, you might not be in business for very long. And that's the cold, hard truth. And listen, I'm a small business owner myself. I'll touch on that more in a minute. But these are things that we're facing right now. And doing videos like this to help my fellow men and women, my fellow business owners, making sure that we can all thrive and make 2021 a much better year than 2020. It may be the best year ever. Before we get started, allow me to introduce myself. My name's Trip, and I've been in business helping small businesses, big and small, make sales, achieve their goals, help business owners reach their dreams and thrive for decades now. Along the way, I like what I was doing so much. I have had the chance to learn from some of the smartest minds in the entire industry, some of the smartest minds that have ever worked in advertising and marketing. And along the way, helping different folks. About 16 years ago, I decided, hey, I want to be a small business owner myself. So I opened my own business. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking everything I learned, everything I've done to help others, everything that I've done to help myself grow and achieve the results I want. I'm doing all these things. I'm taking all the things I learned, I should say, and I'm putting them in videos just like this. And I'm sharing them with folks. I want to leave and I want to help others. I want to, I want to make sure I can have the biggest impact possible helping others. So that's why I'm sharing everything I know, and I'm helping everybody every possible way I can. I'm committed to helping you. I want you to thrive and succeed. So before we start, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. The way this kind of works, this whole YouTube thing, if you subscribe, the more subscribers I have, the more people see my videos, and you can help yourself because I honestly believe I'm sharing a lot of real good content. And number 2, you can help other small business owners find me, and in turn, they'll get some help. So we need to help each other. So do me a favor right now. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay, thank you. Let's dive right in now. Step number 1, you need to create a website. And that website needs to have a blogging element, and it needs to be SEO related. I'm going to touch on a couple of these things. Listen, a website now more than ever is critical to your business's success. It's not very difficult. Adding more and more content every single day about websites, and I will help you. So definitely in the comment section, if you're running into a problem, if there's an obstacle, go ahead and let me know. Now, SEO can be done in a couple different ways. It depends. The 2 most popular ways, and if you don't have a site, I suggest, first of all, probably, if you don't have a site, it's probably related to your concerns about your ability to be tech-oriented towards it. I think the easiest one for you to work with is Wix. I'm going to put a link down in my bio to take you right to the website. I'm going to, we'll go over the Wix and WordPress in a moment. I'll share everything that I know about that as far as it. But the key thing being what SEO means, search engine easy for me to say, search engine optimization. And essentially what that means is how Google, specifically Google, but Google, Bing, will find and rank your website and the individual pages within it. It's not hard to do, especially the 2 ways I'm going to share with you momentarily as I kind of dive into some screenshots. But it's super important. And if you don't do it right, your website will be there, but nobody will really come across it. And again, another way to kind of help you be found, and a way to kind of help you become an authority on the products and services that you offer, is to have a blog. And a blog is a way where you can kind of communicate and connect. A couple of reasons why I really like the blog is it helps with SEO, which means being found. There's a direct correlation. And number 2, what a blog's going to allow you to do is educate, connect, and establish yourself as a important and valuable asset to solve whatever that customer's problem is. So that's really important, and we're going to dive into that in a moment. Okay, let's talk about websites. There's two types of websites you're going to want to consider using. One would be a WordPress site, and the other is a Wix. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Let's talk about WordPress first. Of the two, this is the more complicated of the two, but this is one of the sites. I have a bunch of sites. This is one of the sites I have. Over here on the left, going up and down, you can see that you control things. Pages are web pages, posts are blog posts. You go into these areas to add content. You can see the various pages that I have here. There's themes that you need to use, forms, plugins, migration tools can be used sometimes. None of this is exceptionally difficult, but it's not as user-friendly as the next thing I want to kind of share with you. Let me pull that up. This is a Wix site. One of the things I've done is my pro marketing advice website I've made with Wix. This is the dashboard. You can see things along the left, things that I kind of like. Marketing and SEO, we touched on that. You can go in there and they have some very easy SEO tools that you can use. There's a plugin for SEO back here at on the WordPress site. There are plugins for SEO here. But of the two ways to do SEO, I think you would find, if you're new to all this, which is perfectly okay, I think you find Wix a lot easier to work with. So let's do this. Let me get into my site here. I'll kind of show you how you do make a Wix website. Let that load. This is all hosted by them. You don't have to host this on your computer, so you can access this anywhere that you have internet abilities. But I think what you can do is really make what I think is a nice looking site. Hopefully you think my site here is nice, but you can make a nice looking site. Along here again on the left, this is where your menu and pages are. You can add a page down here, or you can go into any page you have. We talk a little bit about how I structure things. Let me take you through it with this website. This is introduction. This is what the major reason why I'm doing this. I made this site solely so I can distribute information to small business owners. Now we dig a little bit deeper. Some of the key areas where I want to help people: direct mail, new revenue, online advertising, business website, what we're doing right now, traditional advertising, time efficiency. If you're making a website for your business, I would stop right here on your business website. What I did for this one was I kind of add some teaser introduction to those 6 elements here. Then you have your business information at the bottom. So this kind of tells you the who, what, where, when, and why. And so this is a great resource tool, and it's very, very easy to make. I don't want to make a bunch of changes to this, obviously mess it up. But for instance, this is just text. You can see text, edit text, type it in. You can do certain things with it. Again, anything that you do, you're going to have to do a little bit of a play around, feel around scenario, Wix included. But what I really like about this is you would just type, or you'll notice that in another video I talk about ways where you can do speech to text, and you would just copy and paste your information right into these various elements here. This is the direct mail text. This is the business website. Here's the online advertising. Again, these are just two separate text boxes, one stacked on top of the other. You don't have to worry about them, how they touch. You can add images. This is actually a video that I added. So this is all up here. I have all my disclaimers. These are all the pages I have, including a blog section, where this information will actually eventually find itself as well. But you can add things. This is how you would add text. Along here, you just drag and drop. For instance, I'll do it. Or you click on it, and it comes right out. You would type there. Obviously, I don't want that there, so I'll get rid of that. But yeah, I think Wix is a great way. You can upload your images and then put them wherever you want. And here are all my images uploaded. You can click on these. You can do things like take the backgrounds out of them. You should have a bunch of images. This is my old logo. I liked it, but I didn't, so it's now gone. But you can see a lot of different stuff that I put onto this site, and it's always growing. These are things that I want you to do, and I'd love for you to click on over when this is done, kind of check it out. But I'm putting a link down below. I'm partnering up with Wix to help them out because I think this is a really great source, so you'll get the best deal they offer through that link. But go ahead and if you don't have a site, I don't know of an easier way to do this. Plus, I can provide you with a lot of help on the Wix. Now, here's another thing super important about Wix. You can control how your page is going to look, desktop and phone. Phone of the two is the most important one. This is the desktop view. Now let me click. This is this same page on a phone, and you can change this page. I'll go to the top. You can move any of these elements around. You can make them bigger or smaller. You can have something appear on the phone version and not on the desktop, or vice versa. But you set up both. I like to build on the desktop, then go to the phone version and just move stuff about. But what you can see here is this is critical because people are on their phone all the time now, as you know, and I'm sure you're like me. So you can line all this stuff up nice and easy and make sure it looks good on both devices, whether it be desktop or the phone. So those are some of the key reasons why I think Wix is a great tool. And again, I'm happy to help you any way I can with your Wix site because I've branched out to do this. And I think for a small business owner who doesn't want to be a webmaster, just wants something that's going to look good and represent their business well, this is a great tool, Wix. Step number 2, you need to create your Google profile, i.e. your Google My Business section. Google is putting more and more and more importance on this. I'm sure multiple times you've Googled your own business, you've Googled the services or products or type of business that you are in your area, and you see where you kind of rank amongst your competition. If you're not where you want to be, or if you are where you want to be and you don't do this, you won't be there long. You need to claim your Google My Business. We're going to go into some screenshots where I'll share some information on that in a minute. But this is critical. Google is putting every day more and more weight on this. It's not hard to do. There's a lot of basic stuff we'll see, like putting the hours you're open, making sure your phone number's right, making sure your address is correct. I even went so far and did so much work in this a few years back for my different locations. They actually gave me a responder that I have hooked up there. So Google kind of knows, and it's super powerful for people who maybe are traveling and don't know exactly where you are. That responder, as I understand it, listen, I'm out of my water a bit talking about it, but they offered it to me for free, so I took it. What the responder kind of does is if someone is trying to find your business, maybe not familiar with your area, and they put the address in, it helps coordinate all that with, of course, Google directions to make sure they get right to your store, which, hey, that's a good thing, right? So make sure you claim and add content into your Google My Business. That's step number 2. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Google My Business. This is one of my businesses, and this is, as you can see, make sure up here it says Google My Business. This is one of my businesses. There's all sorts of things along here. Make sure you interact with these things and do things, photos. This is where you manage reviews. Very, very important. If someone leaves a review, good or bad or somewhere in between, interact with them. If this is a good review, be thankful. Wish them well. Hope to help you again soon. Appreciate the review. That helps your Google ratings. If there's a bad review, if you're in business long enough, you will. I have some, rightly or wrongly. Listen, nobody's going to be perfect every single day, but address that. Because if people see a bad review and they see that the business stands behind what they want to do, is still willing to try and help that person, it can go a long way. There are some people that will argue some bad reviews are actually good for your business rating amongst people who go to those reviews. But along here, there'll be things like you'll put your products and your services, make sure your website's linked to it. Make sure you get a custom Gmail account. That's always good. If you expand, make sure you put your location here. You manage your locations down here. This is something where, as a business owner, listen, you don't have to be in this every day, but you do need to kind of get in here, create posts, add pictures, keep things updated. You'll get scenarios here. Here's certain reviews. Look I missed the class, but one of the owners, that's me, was compassionate and helped me still make sure that they get things done. People, this is just somebody who I didn't even ask this person to give me a review. She just went ahead and did it, and thank you, Anna. I always appreciate somebody doing that type of stuff. If you like to work on your phone, you can get an Android or iOS of this, so that's a way where you can, if that's an easier way for you, make sure you do it. If it makes sense, you can book things through this. I mean, this is a great tool, but most importantly, you see things like the 3-pack, sometimes listings, how different businesses in its city or town are ranked. There's a high likelihood that the ranking is based on how much information and how up to date this Google My Business is. And one of the things that's huge going into every major holiday, are you open or are you not? Go in, make sure you either say, there'll be an option that yes, I'm open, or you can change your hours. These are huge things to do that makes Google confident that you're in business and that they're offering people information knowing when you are and aren't open. That's a big part of all this. So make sure you do that. Now, step number 3. Make sure your business is on a bunch of business directories. When I say business directories, don't put them on. If there's an orthodontist directory and you make custom shoes, you don't belong there. Don't do it. It won't help you. It's just a waste of your time. But make sure you are in places that make sense, i.e., where your customers would potentially look to find you. So, of course, some places you should consider: Bing, Chamber of Commerce, Yellow Pages, Dun & Bradstreet, that's dnb.com, Yelp. Make sure you make a Facebook page. Facebook carries an enormous amount of influence. You can make a nice Facebook page in an hour's time or less. Other thing, listen, make it, even if you're not going to actively use Facebook. We'll talk about social media in a little bit, but make sure you do make that because it carries weight. Facebook's a powerful search engine, as we all know. Other places to think about is Nextdoor. That's growing quite a bit. People seem to interact a lot with it, at least in my area. I'm on that, and I kind of look and see how things go. And I recommend giving it a try. Again, it'll only take you a few minutes. Each one of these directories only takes a couple of minutes. The Facebook page is a little bit more of an effort. I probably should have spelled that out. But a lot of these directories, you might get a listing in 5 minutes, maybe even less. It's really just putting your basic information in. A couple of places to think about, maybe like there's a place called Hot Frog. But look around, see. One of the things to kind of do is search your competition, see where they are, and make sure you're there too. Okay, let's move to step number 4: Google Ads. I'm going to share some screens in a minute. I've used Google Ads for my own business from pretty much day one. Spent, tens of thousands of dollars. I think it's 100,000. I don't remember off the top of my head. Those kind of numbers you don't want to necessarily remember. But it's been very, very, very good to me. Because Google done right is not expensive. Google Ads is great at the local traffic level, again, if you do it right. And keep these things in mind, okay? You only want to do the search. Do not local Google Display Network. You're going to just burn through money. Do not use their partners. Stay on Google. Listen, I think we all know, and I think we all do in our lives. If we want information, we Google it. I mean, it's become a verb. And stay on Google. That's where you test it, and make sure within it. And I'm going to share some screens in a few seconds here, but make sure you separate things out so you can measure the results. You want to have a tracking mechanism in place, and even I like to break out geospecific. If I serve 5 towns, I have the same ad, but it's broken out into ad groups in 5 different areas, so I can find out which one's generating good results and making me money and which one isn't. It kind of tells me where I should and shouldn't be advertising. If I bundled that all together, I would be spending money in the places that are working and the places that aren't, instead of eliminating or changing ads in places that aren't doing so well. Okay, this is one of my Google Ads accounts. Right now I'm not running. When I'm shooting this video, we're going into a major holiday and we are not running ads right this moment. But you can see, let me briefly put this in. You can see I spent a lot of money. So when I talk about this, this is all my own money, almost $229,000 on Google. So I learned a couple things through that. You can see in the white box, this is my conversions, 4.28 thousand conversions. Now I have this set up, and not to get into the deep dive, but I know when a conversion is done, when a credit card has been taken and the thank you page, meaning the credit card has been processed. So I set my conversions up pretty precisely because that page would never exist unless somebody paid me. Number of clicks and your click-through rates. That's a pretty decent click-through rate overall. You interact with this. They recently disapproved an ad of mine, but listen, you make the changes and you work with them, and Google is pretty good to work with. I've got an account manager who they rotate them, but been very, very good to me. Here's some things that I want you to kind of briefly know. I don't want to go into a deep dive, but these are towns: Stamford, Norwalk. I don't use these. I work with Google to try some different things. Some are paused. Everything's paused, but some would be rerunning. New Canaan's a town. Darien. I do sometimes I'll run ads that specifically present the benefits of my business compared to some of my competitors. There's a lot you can do in here, and the sum total of, Creole, Russian, Polish, offering things in different languages. So I make sure that I run ads in different languages as well. You can set your budget by town, cost per click, or how the bidding strategy. I'm not going to get into too much of this. I do some search. I tell you not to do it only because here's the thing. Some display, I should say. You should do the search network, not the display. But listen, I think you can see based on the amount of money I've spent and what I have here, I recommend starting out, stay with the Google search, and that's it. And break it out by locations. You serve 4 towns, put those 4 towns. But really, what I will tell you, that one of the things I've been able to do with this, I do video. One of the things I have been able to do through this is I sometimes run ads across the entire state, and I'll have people drive by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of my competitors just to come to my location. That happens all the time. Absolutely all the time. And listen, I view that as found money. So if you do this well, and I'm going to make some more videos on this if you're watching this and want to get a deeper dive into it, but I'm a big believer for a local business. Google Ads is a powerful tool. So take advantage of it. Listen, you're going to have to pay to learn, but make sure you follow me because I'm going to share more information. And, listen, I've spent, it says right here, $229,078.16. It was that 16 cents that made me a success. But listen, let me share with you what I've learned spending all that money. It's made me more than that money, but let me share with you so we can I can help you to use this super powerful tool called Google Ads in your business. Step 5. There's a lot of Google we're talking about. Let's talk about Google reviews. Google puts an enormous amount of importance on Google reviews. If you're in business long enough, you'll probably have both hopefully a lot of good and occasional a few bad. It's part of doing business. Couple things to keep in mind. I made this mistake, so you don't have to. Don't bribe people to do it. This is years and years ago. I was kind of trying to be a little bit cute. I really was pushing this stuff. I was using QR codes. I was doing giveaways if a customer would do it. And people actually I think, to be fair, I just shouldn't have done it. People left me a couple lousy comments about it. They still did it, so they got the free gift. And it's less about the free gift. I just kind of felt like, wow, that's not really, my business gets a lot of good reviews and we hear from a lot of people who are really happy. So that was just an out and out mistake. I'll share it with you so you don't have to. But what you can do, and what's been very successful for me in getting these reviews, is when I'm dealing with somebody, a lot of times where there's a problem, and I kind of jump in and I help fix that problem for my customer, and they go from sometimes even being kind of upset or angry to being really thrilled with, me and my business. That's the person who I go, hey, would you do me a favor? Because they're so thankful. Oh gosh, I appreciate you so much. I'm so thankful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They're opening up a door for you right then and there. The thank you, thank you, thank you. Go ahead and ask them to go onto Google and leave your review. Remarkably, again, I'm not keeping firm tabs on this, but I'm probably getting 8 out of 10 folks who I do that actually going on there. Even if you get 5 out of 10, the reviews are powerful and they really do help with your whole ranking so your business gets found. Step number 6, social media. Pick at least one of these that are on the screen and make sure you use them, make sure you engage on them. It will pay off over time. Don't look at social media as a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's a long-term play that will produce a lot of real good results for you. Ones I would definitely consider picking from, and again, you don't have to pick one, but definitely you do need at least one. Think about YouTube. I like it. That's where you found me here, right? Many of these I use. Facebook. Facebook is powerful. Facebook page, Facebook groups. Great way to interact with folks. Great way for them to ask you questions and you in turn interact with them. LinkedIn. Got to be honest with you, LinkedIn's not something that I get involved in a lot, but specifically a lot of service related, a lot of professional service businesses. LinkedIn can be super powerful. At one time, I owned a recruitment business for a small period of time. I sold that just because of that, and this is forever ago. I got like thousands of people that follow me on LinkedIn. I probably don't go on it 5 times a year. Maybe I'm making a big mistake, but if I do stuff and figure some stuff out about it, I'll share it here on my YouTube site, I promise. TikTok. I'm actually going to be making a video soon. I've been testing and working with TikTok. TikTok's super powerful. And another reason to subscribe to this channel, because when I share with you TikTok and some results and stuff, you're going to be like, wow, that's someplace I need to be, I think. Other social media places, Twitter, of course, is enormously powerful and huge reach. Instagram, especially from a visual standpoint, if you can take pictures within your business, you got products, maybe it's something that you like to do anyway. A lot of people love to take pictures and cameras. Instagram is amazing. It's a visual medium, and done right, it's super powerful. Pinterest, along that same lines. I'm actually doing some testing, some stuff on Pinterest right now as well, and I expect to come out with a very good video. A couple things to know about Pinterest. Skews pretty heavily female, probably 70-80%. Again, visual and information based, but wow, when you can just put some stuff up there and folks will see it. It is a powerful, powerful tool. For a while, I underestimated it. That's why you got to test and learn. And most importantly, now I'll share that kind of stuff with you folks. Reddit is something that I kick around with a little bit, but Reddit can be super powerful. If you find a group that tailors to your business, the folks involved in that are like A1 type of customers. They're super passionate. And you know what? If someone really would love to know more about you and your product, it's not a bad idea to try and engage with them. Step number 7, press releases. Okay, there's two kind of combination ways I'll touch on. There's free and then there's paid ways to do this. Paid ways, you can look at something like prweb.com. They can get that press release out to tons of media, and it's for local business, a huge announcement, maybe like a new location. I think it's a ballpark around $100. The powerful thing about that is it goes national, and you go, look, I don't need somebody halfway around the world to know about my new location. But what it does is it creates powerful linkage, which helps with SEO, tying back all the way back to the beginning of what we talked about. So that's something to think about, review it, look at it. But there's a free method that I strongly advise every small business owner to do. And that's your local reporters, your local media. Connect with them. Listen, they need content. For years, I worked in newspapers. It's not easy to be a reporter because you know what? Every day, if you have a byline 5 days a week, you got to come up with stories 5 days a week. So if you can connect with them on social media, again, another reason to use it, you'll find media people love Twitter. So just from a personal standpoint, your business, connect with them, make a connection with them, tell them you love their story. If you can reach out to them and say, wow, you had that great story, I enjoyed reading it or listening to it or watching it on, subject X, and you can draw a correlation from that to your business or something within your business you're doing, you very well may have just opened up the door for them doing a story on you. The local television group, I had a reporter who tells me, I'm their go-to person on certain subject matters. They don't even ask or look anymore for anybody else because I'm very accommodating. I spend time with them. When they want to shoot, I dedicate a staff member to help them. I make their life easy, number one, which, listen, we all like easy. And number two, obviously they feel like they get a good story. So, that can be real powerful. People are like, hey, we saw you. Hey, we saw you. Hey, and that's all free. So make sure you press releases and connecting with your local media. That's really important. Step number 8, local networking groups. Hasn't been over the course of my career. I haven't been in one, honestly, in a long time. But I was in one for many years. And I did learn a lot about it. For certain industries, for certain types of businesses, there was a sign maker in my business that just generated tons and tons and tons of business in that group. Insurance service providers, crazy. Because what you're doing is you get to know those people. You get to know what their strengths are, what they do business-wise. And then you can kind of cross-promote each other. And it's a very organic, very natural thing to do. For example, let's say in a business network group, there's a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, and a dietitian. Okay? They could cross-promote when appropriate. The chiropractor says, you know what, this kind of pain element, have you ever thought about acupuncture? I know this person, boom, there's a referral. Same thing with a dietitian in that triangle. And listen, you can imagine, and you want to think about and look at groups and find out, hey, is there a way I can bring value? Make sure you're bringing value. These groups don't work unless it's a win-win scenario. But bring value to a group, and it's well worth your time. You'll find that you can do quite a bit of business. Step number 9. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I love direct mail. I have generated an enormous amount of money for myself and my customers using direct mail. Um, I'm sure you can find a direct mail video from me about it, and there's going to be more and more. Because if you do this right, if you do direct mail right, it is the most powerful vehicle you're going to spend money into. It will return money at enormous returns on investment. 10, 20, 30, 40 fold is attainable. Got to do it right. And definitely reach out to me, interact with me, follow me, because I'm sharing everything I know. And like I keep telling you guys, if you put something in the comment section, you're having a problem with something, I'm going to try and help you, whether it's here on YouTube, Facebook, wherever it is, you're connected with me, even email. Again, I want to help you guys out. But learn direct mail. Use me as your resource and use it, because once you do it right, you won't want to stop doing it. So these are the 9 marketing steps. Now, let me help you a little bit more. In the comment section, I want you to do 2 things for me right now. First of all, tell me which of these methods you're going to implement first. Something you're not doing now, but you're like, I'm doing that right away. And part of this is important because you know what? You need to, I want to hold you accountable to it. I want you to be held accountable to it, because these are things that are going to make your business better going forward. And number 2, if there's one that you don't want to use, maybe you're confused, maybe you don't know how it might implement into your business, go ahead and put that down there as well. Maybe I can help you figure it out. And listen, one shoe can never fit all feet, of course, but there's definitely elements in here you're probably not doing that you have to implement. Listen, I know that these are tough times to own a business because, again, I'm a business owner myself. So let's do this. Let's connect. As you can see, I really do want to help folks. Connect with me on social media. There's a link down below that will take you to my website, where you can kind of follow me in whatever social media elements that you use. I'm trying to be omnipresent to whatever degree time and my energy allows me to be. But let's unite and let's support each other, because you know what? Knowing that I'm helping you will help give me the energy and the desire to keep doing these videos and answering questions below them. That's the 9. We're at the end of my video, so do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do it. Make sure you follow me, and I want to say thank you for watching this video, and to your success, I say thank you. Have a great day.